Big Ben sort of made waves and headlines because he said that he wasn't just going to hand the job to Mason Rudolph, the third-rounder drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I feel like it's safe to say, given the fact that we're arguing over who's starting first in a league this year among rookies, nobody's going to be handed that starting gig. Name the quarterback that will have the veteran on their team feeling like some kind of way.
Feeling a little shaky, baby?
Yes, a little shaky, baby.
Go ahead. I'm going right here. I'm going with Baker Mayfield. And, I feel like Tyrod is going to be the starter. I know he's not going to give away the job, but I feel like the pressure of him being number one, similar to what Schrager was talking about in the first hour, also the energy from the crowd and the fan base. I remember being on that field in Cleveland my last year playing football, and Brian Hoyer doing everything he was supposed to do consistently, every single practice. And Johnny would make one play. He'd shake a guy. He'd run opposite. I remember Johnny specifically running the wrong play, running the opposite direction.
Doesn't matter.
Throwing across the field to me because I was running the wrong play because I was still learning the playbook. And I shake a guy and I get in the end zone. And you would think, the coaches would bring us over and say, what in the hell are you guys doing? Which they did in their own way. But we couldn't hear the coaches talk to us because the fans were screaming.
It was the mini miracle.
And roaring. It was like the greatest play they ever seen.
Yes.
Johnny, throwing the money signs in the air. So I'm not saying the pressure will get Baker Mayfield on the field, but I do feel like the energy that he brings to the table as a number one overall draft pick and what the crowd wants to see, what the fans want to see, that right there is going to have Tyrod like, I got to deal with this circus again. And that's a different element because a lot of quarterbacks don't have to deal with that.
I'm going to go with this guy because I feel like it's deja vu for Sam Bradford. He had this great career, good year with Chip Kelly, and then what do? They go and they trade up and they draft Carson Wentz with the number 2 overall pick, and he's in Philadelphia thinking, wait a second. And then you go last year to Minnesota. He's like, I'm the starter. I'm the guy. Then wait a second. Case Keenum. And I'm healthy. I'm ready to go back. They're like, we're going to stick with Keenum. Bradford's been through this too many times for him not to be scared and at least a little nervous that the young buck might take the gig. And it's not because of this guy. It's because about his own history.
It seems like the harder question is which veteran isn't a little shaky. Because looking at Lamar Jackson and Flacco and even Josh Allen and AJ, there's a lot going on.
I might answer that question, Tyrod. You talk about Baker. Tyrod knew what time it was. He knew the Browns have the number 1 pick. There's somebody coming in here. The guy who got sort of sucker punched is the guy who's playing in front of this dude. Now, there is nothing more threatening or intimidating than a superior athlete, a superior talent. I'll never forget, I was watching this behind-the-scenes thing. It was for a magazine cover shoot. Maybe it was SI, ESPN. And they're doing the regional covers, all right? So they bring in Colin Kaepernick. This is years ago before his career changed. And he wears shoulder pads with no shirt underneath. And you remember what it's just shredded. Muscles on muscles on muscles. And it's an incredible
the original
photo.
Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah, exactly. Then the next person they bring is Matt Ryan. He's got a spandex on under his shoulder pads, and the photographers go, any way we get you to take the shirt off? And he goes, hell no, not after Kaepernick. I'm not taking my shirt off. You know what I'm saying? They're like, that's a different deal. This is a different deal from Joe Flacco. If they had brought in Josh Allen, certainly, it'd be like, okay, this is the guy I relate to this guy. This guy does what I do. Yeah. This guy does not do what Flacco does, and I don't know if he knew it was coming. So the sucker punch factor and the elite athlete factor, I'd be a little nervous if I'm Flacco.
I agree.
It's sad for Flacco.
And Matt Ryan.
Flacco got a Super Bowl. He's good.